Strap in, kid.
Welcome to a very bad batch explosion. Myself, a show breaking down and discussing each and every episode of the Disney Plus original Star Wars series, Star Wars: The Bad Batch. My name's Dylan Blight. Join me, Ashky Holby.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here and excited that the Bad Batch has ventured into the Forbidden West.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like you either it's either Horizon, Indiana Jones, War of the Worlds. I guess they're like
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like
but I feel like Horizon and Indiana Jones surely has to be the main sources of inspiration here. I don't know.
Uncharted. Yep.
Uncharted, no. Episode 5, titled Entombed. I didn't even bother with synopsis or anything.
I think it's
Entombed. My synopsis for this episode would be the crew doing Indiana Jones is what I've wrote down in my notes.
I would say the Batch searches for an ancient treasure that stirs up a shocking surprise.
Is that you saying that because you just looked up to Disney Plus on your screen?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like if you turned on Disney Plus and you flicked to watch this episode and the synopsis was the crew doing Indiana Jones, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a bit interesting. Like, that'd be an interesting description for a show. What do you think of this week's episode?
It was alright. It's pretty, I mean, it's an interesting idea of them going to travel out and explore, trying to find this treasure. But, yeah, other than that, I mean, that's all there kind of was to it. There wasn't much else to it, you know? Last week we had the racing episode, but at least it felt like you were having an episode that was focused on
something.
Tech.
Yeah.
And, like, showing his strengths and that kind of stuff. This one, they're just out doing a fetch quest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. See, last week...
Okay, we know how to do puzzles.
Last week's really wasn't a filler episode because it was actually had some character development. This week's... It was just like...
Unless that robot comes into play at the very end.
Nah.
And I'm sure we'll... it's an interesting... thing, I guess.
What?
The robot. Where did it come from?
Oh, the one they break into?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's ancient. So, no, I mean, that's the only thing about this episode I feel is, like, there's nothing really to of any of our characters of note in this episode. It's fun enough. It looks really good. Like, the shot at the end and all these sorts of things, just like, they look very pretty and whatever. But yeah, I feel like if anything comes this episode, it's just that we've got introduced to what we've been told anyway is, pre-Jedi, like really, really ancient sort of stuff, Yeah. Is this setting up something to do with, is this just a red herring Easter eggy sort of thing for the Acolyte? Like what's the,
Yeah. Is it an old High Republic thing?
Yeah. Is that what that is? If so, all right. Cool, I guess, but yeah, as like maybe in retrospect you'll be like, oh yeah, that was kind of cool, but yeah, watching it this week, you're just like, that thing is really cool looking, and seems really dangerous.
It sounds like Sony has a lawsuit on that.
Yeah, sounds like Sony has a lawsuit on hands, but but just within the confines of this episode, without any of that, and taking away assumptions about it meaning anything more, you're just like, the episode finishes and you're like,
okay.
Alrighty then. Like, what? Okay. that was a time. Also, not to mention that I feel like it was almost just the going around solving these fucking Jedi Fallen Order puzzles. Like, what the hell is that about?
It's like lose a lantern.
Yeah, like take this
Use
thing.
the UV light.
Take out the UV light to do this. Move this crystal lamp. Put it into another slot. Oh, like, come on.
People are big fans of watching streams of people playing games like Jedi Fallen Order, and that's what they were trying to capture in this episode.
Maybe they were. I feel like the highlight though was the music was banger in this episode. I felt like it felt Indiana Jones inspired music, a bit more epic or stuff. Like that piece that kicked in when they all started, like when it started moving and they started falling down it or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, this is a banger of a piece. So appreciate that. But otherwise, I mean, the only other thing I'll say is I don't love her character, but I enjoy Wanda Sykes in this. I don't know if that's. I don't really love the character. I just enjoy having Wanda Sykes and like showing up a couple times. Sort of fun. Otherwise, I got nothing else. It was a fun enough episode, but it was just sort of in one in my eyeballs and out the other side. To be completely honest, probably won't think about this
episode more than anything else. Is a reminder that it, at its heart, it's a kid show.
Yeah,
you know, it's for kids. You know, I'm sure kids would have loved what's happened here, but there's people who have watched a lot of similar genred content. It's not really that exciting or anything.
Yeah. Definitely felt like I enjoyed last week's episode a lot more than this one.
Yeah. Do you reckon that the laser thing, is that the impetus behind the Death Star?
Nah.
Like that technology?
Nah. Just a laser.
It's just a laser?
This is a laser.
Okay. Just a really big laser.
Just a big laser, yeah. I don't know, they've had lasers.
Was the crystal important anyway, other than to shut it down?
I don't know, it looked like the bloody rock formation they have in the Fifth Element.
Also, it was pretty random that creature just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, did that thing die? I assume so. Right?
I don't know. Did we ever see them defeat it? I can't.
No, it ran off. It's scuttle bugged off. So I don't know.
Weird.
Could still be out there. Alright, well. Nonetheless, thank you for joining us for another episode of The Very Bad Batch. Of course, let us know your thoughts on this week's short episode, short and sweet. And funny thing, this episode was actually longer than last week's. But I got way less to say. Anyway, you can tweet at us, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, join Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. And don't forget to stay subscribed to Holocron Entries, the podcast feed you're listening to for all that great Star Wars content. And until next week.
I see fire inside the mountain. I see fire burning the trees. And I see fire hollowing souls. I see fire, blood in the breeze. And I hope that you'll remember me.